For the first time since May 2nd, 1990, the Oilers win a Game 1 on home ice. They do it in interesting fashion, 7-4 over the Los Angeles Kings. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Oil Street Postgame Show presented by GCL Diesel. Tom Gazzola live on location at Hudson's Bourbon Street at West Edmonton Mall. GCL Diesel, Edmonton's diesel fuel system specialists and providers of critical engine components for over 50 years. Get in on the conversation. A lot of you already have 780-218-9999. And then if you're watching on our EST YouTube channel, get into the nasty chat. 7-4. The Oilers win it. Just a dominant first period. Pretty strong start to the second period. Great vibe in the building. Absolutely tremendous. And then the Kings get a couple of lucky ones late to kind of close the gap and make it look less bad for them. Are you concerned about the way that one ended? I don't think so. Let me know, 780-218-9999, and then text us via the nasty chat as well. And Matt Kassian will be by shortly to break it all down. YouTube Trev back at the EST HQ. Let's go to him really quickly before I go into the scoring summary. Trev, are you okay? You survived.
I am A-okay, Tommy. Yeah, what a great night. This was awesome. It was so fun to see. They started strong. I said it was going to be high scoring. It was for this game. It'll be interesting to see how the other games are, but it was really cool. Like, I thought McDavid, and I kind of said this once you had left, Tommy. There were some comments, and a lot of people on the nasty chat were saying, like, has McDavid been playing like maybe 80% to what his potential is? And I think that I really believe that he was, man. Like, for the first time in a long time, he was entering the zone and like shooting off the rush. Usually he was passing those off, but tonight he wasn't shying away from driving the puck just to the net. There were so many times where he had an unbelievable night. He could have had a few more points. So it was unbelievable to see. The power play looked so good, and it even for that, it was kind of like, man, were they just kind of just waiting to unload this power play for playoffs? Like, I don't know. There were some people that were speculating that. So it's just weird. Tommy, they looked unbelievable. Zach Hyman, like Adam Henrique as well. Like, a lot of players showed up. The Oilers showed up. It was a great game one. And I'm pumped. It was great. I love it.
7-4, the Oilers win it. I think the term I used at one point, Trev, was McDavid is toying with everyone this season. In that first period, he came out flying. Draisaitl solid. Obviously, Hyman with the hat trick. My goodness, look out. Let's get to a couple of texts before we go into the scoring summary. Tay says, so if we really look back at this game, the Oilers have actually scored 8 goals. LA has scored 1. The Oilers have scored more goals for LA than LA has. Let that sink in for a minute. Tay with that one. Conroe says, don't get me wrong, Texas is happy. Great win, but come on, Darnell. You need to play that with your stick. The puck that banked in off of Nurse late in the game. Conroe, Texas. We're nitpicking, right? We're nitpicking. It's all good. They win. Let's go to Mike at Thunder Bay. Says, statement win. What a way to open up the playoffs. 2 for 4 Kings goals. 2 out of 4 Kings goals off Oilers players, and 1 after a very unfortunate blown stick. Lots of luck on their side tonight. Oilers let off the gas for about 5 minutes in the second, but other than that, they really dominated the play. The Kings had no answers. Oilers were too fast to allow the Kings to really set up the 1-3-1. Then the Kings were down, and they had to open up the game, which played right into the Oilers' hands. Oilers need to stay focused, keep playing like they did for large stretches of the night, and this series will be over mighty quick. Mike in Thunder Bay with that one. Okay, let's get into the scoring summary from Edmonton's 7-4 victory in Game 1 over the Los Angeles Kings, taking a 1-0 lead in the series. Haven't been able to say that in a little while, actually 7 years since they did it against the Anaheim Ducks in the second round. In the first period, Zach Hyman, 6:52 in from Connor McDavid and Evan Bouchard to open things up. Then it would be Adam Henrique at 9:36. A laser snaps one home from Hyman and Bouchard to zip Oil after 1 in the second period. Zach Hyman, second of the night from McDavid and Henrique. Absolutely brilliant play by McDavid behind the net. Little spinorama, little backhand pass. Hyman bangs it home past Cam Talbot at 4:53 zip Oil. Then Ryan Nugent Hopkins. Some people were wondering, what's Nuge going to do? Is he going to get involved? Is he going to be solid offensively. Is he going to show up 5-on-5? Well, he gets one on the power play at 8:24 from Draisaitl, and McDavid totally redeems himself after blowing that 2-on-1. Puck kind of bobbled off his stick. He flubbed it earlier in the first period. So Nugent-Hopkins gets his first of the postseason. At 10:56, though, the Kings would respond. Mikey Anderson, the point shot, goes high over the blocker, or was it the blocker or the glove side? It goes high over the shoulder of Stuart Skinner. Skinner didn't see it. And all of a sudden, it's a 4-1 Edmonton lead. Doughty and Arvidsson with the helpers. Then Adrian Kempe would make it 4-2 at 17:56 from Quentin Byfield. The old bank off of Cody Cece's skate, and in. It was 4-2 after 2. In the third, the Oilers on the power play deadly again. Leon Draisaitl at 1:08 to make it 5-2 to restore the 3-goal lead. McDavid and Bouchard, the helpers, on an absolutely brilliant shot from an unbelievably hard angle by Draisaitl. And then to cap off the hat trick, Zach Hyman on the power play as well from McDavid and Bouchard. Too easy. When McDavid makes a play like that, all you have to do is tap it in, make sure it doesn't get by you, and Hyman knows how to do that. So he's got 3 on the night. Another hattie for Hyman. 6-2 Edmonton at that point at 6:17. The Kings do respond. They make it 6-3. Pierre-Luc Dubois from Adrian Kempe at 16:56. And then Trevor Moore at 18:49 to make it 6-4. That's the one that I think it was Conroe, Texas, was talking about banking it in off of Darnell Nurse. More from LaFerriere to make it 6-4. But then Warren Fogle into the empty net would put this one on ice. 7-4 your final. That goal from Fogle coming at 19:34. Shots on net in this one. Edmonton with 45 to LA's 37. The Oil strong on the faceoff dot, 55.6 to 44.4%. The power play 3 for 4. The PK 2 for 2. That's good. And then hits 67 for LA to 45 for the Oilers. Block shots 23 for the Oil to LA's 16. Officially 7 giveaways for the Kings to Edmonton's 5. Takeaways 12-7 in favor of Edmonton. The final score 7-4. All right, keep those texts coming in. 780-218-9999. Let's go to AJ in Montreal, who says, woohoo, McDavid on pace for 80 postseason assists. And with a little smiley emoji there, AJ in Montreal. Yes, McDavid absolutely brilliant on this night. And then this text comes in from Stanley in YYC. Stanley says, why does this team have to make things difficult at the end? My watch is not happy with my heart rate and blood pressure. First win, and it's a big one. Go Oilers. Stanley in YYC. Shaggy in St. Albert with a long one. Shaggy says, playoffs matter tonight. They put up, and they don't need to shut up. Now let's see if they have figured it out, and this trend continues through the rest of the playoffs. I'm actually glad the Kings scared them a little before the end of the second period instead of facing no adversity in Game 1. If they had won 6-zip, they would have taken the Kings too lightly for Game 2, of course. Nurse and Cece have to find a way to make it closer than it had to be at the end. Seemed to start right after fans started the wave. Like being out after 1 a.m. Nothing good ever happens after you start the wave. Good start to the playoffs. Finally get the rare Game 1 win. What do you make of that, YouTube, Trev? The wave was started. Belsey was texting me. A few others were texting me. Why are they starting the wave? Feeling too good inside the arena. And sure enough, hockey gods give it, and hockey gods take it.
Yeah, it's always funny. It seems like when the wave always I've never noticed the more. Well, the wave was one thing back home, whatever, it was a wave. But since I've been here at the station, like Dusty's talking about the wave. The wave it's a huge thing. Everyone's talking about the wave. Like it's a lot of controversy with this stinking wave. So it's kind of funny. Like whenever the Oilers, whenever the wave happens, apparently, what we saw tonight, there's a goal. So I'd suggest to your Oilers fans, probably don't do the wave. But
basta.
I kind of they're having a fun time, and I don't want to rain on their parade or anything like that. So I get it. You're having fun, and it looks cool. I think it's satisfying to see thousands of people lift their hands, but it's not. I think there's times to do it. And they pay the fans. They literally pick the worst times to do it because the opposition always scores.
Yeah, well, it happened a couple times tonight. 7-4, the Oilers win it. Matt Kassian about to join us. I really, Trev, thought that the Oilers were pretty damn thorough in that first period, and then early in the second period, then a little bit of taking off, their foot off the throttle, and that's when the Kings started to get a little bit of zone time and managed to get a couple of lucky goals. But, man, the Trevor Lewis goal, I think that was the right call. You can't hit it in with your hand. So that one, I was like, they better wake up because they're getting a little bit loose. But they get the call there from the review. And then on top of that, the Trevor Moore hit going low on Vinny Desharnais. You can't do that. So the Kings were at fault for killing their own momentum as well. So, yes, the Oilers, a little bit of self-inflicted wounds in this game. But same with the LA Kings. And we have to remember that. I mean, the Kings, when they were getting momentum, took bad penalties. The Oilers made them pay on those power plays. Good on Edmonton for making that happen because there have been times where the Oilers do not make the opposition pay. But tonight, that wasn't the case. They made them pay a couple of times when the Kings took dumb penalties, and that's just fine. They'll do that every chance they get. So I like to see that killer instinct for the Oilers. I will give them credit for that. What do you say, Trev?
Yeah, absolutely. I honestly, Tommy, I don't remember the last time I was able to just sit back and watch a playoff game and not be nervous. I wasn't really nervous, and I don't know if it's because, I'm a little bit more of a professional. I have to put my nerves to the side or whatnot. But yeah, it was just a convincing win. Even when the Oilers were, struggling, the two bad goals, whatever you want to call them, I was like, okay, it was still the Oilers game. And I think good old Uke, he said in the nasty chat that the LA Kings, they didn't celebrate after those two goals. They kind of knew they were out of this one. So
right.
But credit to the Oilers. They really showed up. I loved the lines, and it was really good. RNH, I thought, had a hell of a game. Draisaitl, man, if he did a really sick move. If he were to capitalize on that goal, that would have been one of the best goals I've ever seen. So there's a lot to like about this, and I'm very intrigued to hear what Cass has to say when he's hopping on here pretty soon. So all in all, man, I don't know if there's any, if you can look at many negative takeaways from this game. I think it's it's a great first game for Chris Knoblauch behind the bench for the Oilers. Draw them up. Let's run them like this always, because it was great. They had an answer for everything that the Kings pretty well threw their way. So, yeah, I mean, more games like this, I think the Nasties, the Oilers fans would be very happy, Tommy.
As they should be. They win at 7-4. The Oilers do. To take game one, like I said off the top of the show, that is the first Oilers win at home in a game one in the postseason since May 2nd, 1990, when they beat the Chicago Blackhawks 5-2. Of course, you'll recall what happened in that postseason. I'm just saying. I think Cass is trying to connect. Do you see that, Trev? Do you have to let him in? All right, let's get that sorted out. Keep those texts coming. You figure that out. All right, Cass wants to get in. He wants to talk about the Oilers' victory, and so do a lot of people. Keep those texts coming in. 780-218-9999 and via the Nasty Chat as we roll through the Oil Stream postgame show presented by GCL Diesel. Also, I need to mention that portions of this hour brought to you by 100.3 The Bear, Edmonton's best rock. Catch Dusty Nielsen with Yukon Jack and Scott McCord weekday mornings, and then tune into Jess Jackson on your way home from work every afternoon. All right, let's see what's going on. Naughty Possum says, finally a home win for game one, and that's the one I decided not to attend. Game two, I'll be there. Chase Texan says, you know what else happened in 1990? They won the Stanley Cup. Is history repeating itself, Chase? We shall see, but they have a pretty damn good team, that's for sure. But you know that the Kings are going to come out with more punch in the first period on Wednesday night in game two. Let's go to Moonwatcher. Says, don't want to get ahead of myself, but Connor looks like he is on a mission. Absolutely. A brilliant night for Connor McDavid, and his line I thought was really good with Henrique and Hyman. Just they didn't make a lot of mistakes, especially in the first half hour of the game. Yes, a few little spots here and there in the latter parts of the second period. But then, like I said, the Kings did make some boneheaded plays that cost them because they had a bit of a march to the penalty box and the Oilers converted. So we'll see if the Oilers can tighten it up for 40 minutes, maybe 50 minutes on Wednesday. If not, then I think the Kings, with the goals that they were able to get, even though a couple of those were lucky bounces, probably feel like they might have a bit of a window to slip in against the Oilers. If you're wondering what the stat line was for McDavid tonight, 5 assists plus 1, 3 shots with 3 hits, 1847 time on ice, 53.8% on the dot. Who else was good? Well, Zach Hyman, 4-point night for him, 3 goals and an assist plus 2, 9 shots, 5 hits, 1833 time on ice. And then to round out that top line, Adam Henrique, a goal and an assist tonight, plus 1, 2 shots, 2 hits, 1352 time on ice, chipped in with 66.7% on the dot. All right, Matty Kassian is good to go. There he is. Hello, Cass. Let's bring him on. Cass, hello. Are you there?
Hello. I am here. I was here before sitting listening to you guys, and I was like,
what was
happening? And then I had to reconnect. But we're good. We're here. We're excited.
We got it. All right.
Yeah, we are all right. That was a good win. Dare I say a great win. Not a perfect win, but a great win. They kind of did all that I was hoping they would do in that first game against the LA Kings. They kind of hit on everything a little bit, which I thought was a real positive.
Cass, for a lot of that game, I thought they were quite thorough and didn't make a lot of mistakes. We're making the right play. They were on the right side of the puck. Maybe they slipped up a little bit in parts of the second period where LA was able to push back, and you knew LA was going to push back, right? So I thought, really, for the most part, Edmonton was playing just a rock-solid game. Any concern with the way that one ended with the goals that were going in on the other end?
No, I don't think so. They had enough of a lead where I'm not concerned about it. It's one of those things you would address in the room where you're saying, hey, guys, great win. We got to make sure we lock it down at the end. Can't give them any kind of a sniff or life. But really, Tom, so prior to that happening, when they score goal number, I think it was on goal number 6. Yeah, it was goal number 6. When Edmonton scored goal number 6, I'm like, I hope this doesn't run away too much, because then it becomes more of a total write-off.
Right.
Where it's like you flush it, you got beat so bad that's not your game, right? And we still might hear that out of the LA dressing room, like, oh, that wasn't our game, that's not us. We're going to be better. We expect more of ourselves. Like that's what you're going to hear. But in the dressing room, when you get absolutely pummeled, it's like it's easy just to throw it completely out.
Right.
But when there's like you thought you had hope and there was almost hope and you just got stomped on, to me, mentally, those are way harder to overcome than just one game where you just get like blown out, like 8-1. And so I don't think it was necessarily a bad thing, even that LA made. I don't even want to say LA made a little bit of a push, but Edmonton made some mistakes. And that's what it was, Tom. Edmonton made mistakes. It wasn't LA just being all of a sudden a way better team. It's, as we talked about on the pregame show, Edmonton, if they lose, it's probably them beating themselves. And I kind of feel like when LA pushed back into that game, it was because Edmonton just got a little bit sloppy and allowed them back in.
780-218-9999. The Oilers take game 1 against the Kings 7-4. Tom Gazzola, Matt Kassian, and YouTube Trev with you live on location at Hudson's Bourbon Street. It's been a fun night. Big thank you to everybody who came out. VR Montenegro, Darcy, Dudley and his girlfriend. I also saw, Lieutenant Eric was here quite late. Who else was here? Rip City Step. Jay and Andrea were here. Who else? I feel like I'm forgetting. But there was a good contingent. Fergie's Prostate was here for a little bit. So a big thank you to the Nasties who came out. And they were all rewarded with $20 GCs tonight, Cass. I gave them the good stuff. Because I got reloaded and we're distributing appropriately. That's how we roll here at Hudson's. All right, Cass. If you're the Oilers and you're looking ahead to Wednesday, what areas of this game are you going, all right, that was pretty good, but...
Well, I mean, you're going to say, well, that was pretty good. Your power play was really good. Did exactly what you wanted to do, was absolutely punishing for the LA Kings. And we talked about that on the pregame show about how, especially early in the series, having your power play absolutely clicking, I think forces LA to play a little bit differently. If you're looking at things to clean up, you are looking to say, hey, we can't let a team back into a game because really they did. And you were a disallowed goal away from LA being right in the thick of things because they worked their way into that and they were close to having some momentum and good momentum too. Now I thought that was the right call, but it wasn't a goal. LA fans probably would call us homers for saying that, but I thought they got that one right.
That's the
So
rule. That was a league-initiated review, too.
I know. I thought it was pretty clear, and right when it happened, I was like, I think that's coming back. And once I saw it again a couple times, I was like, yeah, it's probably coming back, and I think it was the right call. It wasn't like an accidental deflection, and it was, from what it looked like to me, more of a hand passy type of thing, but. Neither here nor there. Doesn't matter. It wasn't a goal. But for the Edmonton Oilers, you are looking at it and you're saying we want to keep the power play as rock solid as we can. But if we do have the lead like that, we have to make sure that we are not just settling in, but that we're still being patient with our play. Right. And you saw them kind of get back to that again. Like they did settle in a little bit more. Now, again, right at the end, LA makes another little bit of a push. But Tom, there's not a ton you're going to be looking at this and completely picking apart. I mean, the trick here is going to be LA is going to try to make some pressure adjustments on the penalty kill. And it's going to be, up to that group and to the coaching staff to play a little bit of chess with typically what I would say is probably the first play or the first two plays they're running on the power plays.
Right. 780-218-9999. If you've got any questions for Cass or myself or YouTube Trev, let us know. And then, of course, Nasty Chat. Someone in the Nasty Chat said that Will Ferrell's on suicide watch. Relax. He's not going all Frank the Tank after his divorce here. He's not at that point just yet, but it'll be interesting to see Will Ferrell on Friday at Crypto.com Arena if he is indeed in the crowd, which I'm assuming he will be. Anyway. From a LA Kings standpoint tonight, Cass, like you were talking about, if they got absolutely pumped in this one and didn't have much of a comeback, then, that's more dangerous in a certain way because then they could throw it out. But now they had some hope in this one. So what are they going to be saying? Are they going to be addressing the lack of discipline? Or are they going to be saying we have to rethink our strategy against the Oilers? Because it didn't look like they had a lot of room to make anything happen, especially in the first period. I don't know what they try to shake up. Do they try to get physical? How would you approach it if you were looking at it from an LA side?
Well, the interesting thing is, if they try to get too physical, they may take penalties. And if they take penalties, Edmonton's power play might light them up, which is why it was so important to have this first game, any power play opportunities you got to be absolutely lethal. And the Edmonton Oilers 100% executed on that. For LA, again, I think when you're looking at this, you're going to say, okay, we're going to make some tweaks to the penalty kill, where we're trying to pressure, what plays we're trying to give up. You're going to talk about that. You're going to talk about, no, we need to do a better job of slowing them down in the neutral zone, trying to eliminate some of that rush against. You're probably going to have some conversation about Zach Hyman, that line in particular, about him trying to play around the net, about ensuring that not trying to front Zach Hyman, which I think when teams try to do that, he can burn you with it. So fronting, for those that aren't aware, is there's a couple different ways to play in front of your own net defensively. Now, one is you play inside the player, so you're closer to the net than the other player, and you're trying to box them out, get a stick, cross-check them, push them, and move them. The other is called fronting, where you stand in front of him, and you're trying to stop pucks from going through. You're trying to block shots if they're coming. And different players, you play different ways, and depending who's at the point and what line you're playing against. Teams get into trouble when they try to front Zach Hyman because he's very good at slipping around that and finding space around the net. And we saw him do that again. So I think there'll be some discussion around that about what they're doing right in front of their own net. And they're going to talk about cleaning up their own play. I think they're going to look at their defensive zone coverage and say, that wasn't good enough. That's not how we like to play. That's not Kings defensive hockey. We didn't do what we like to do in the neutral zone. So we need to do, again, a better job of slowing them down, establishing our really boring 1-3-1, trying to push the puck to that defenseman side in the 1-3-1 and really just try to slow the Edmonton Oilers down. So they're gonna look at this, and the other conversation is going to be, guys, just flush it. That's what they're going to try to hit with. Just flush it. Like, just get rid of it. That wasn't our game. We don't like how we played. We didn't play very well. We know we're going to come out here in a couple of days and have a way better one. That's going to be what they're saying in the public, and really that's what they're going to be saying behind closed doors as well.
Fully expect them to have a really strong push in the first 10 minutes on Wednesday night. One thing that was interesting, Cass, we were talking about all this Evander Kane stuff. We talked about it on the pregame show, the sports hernia. What's the scientific term?
Athletic pubalgia.
Yes, that's right. And you suffered from athletic pubalgia during your playing days. Yes, it required surgery.
Yes,
we thought Kane would play on the fourth line. They actually flipped Holloway and Kane. So Kane winds up with Corey Perry on the right side, Ryan McLeod down the middle. I liked Ryan McLeod's game tonight. I'm not going to lie to you. I actually had no issue with a lot of players.
I didn't like. He just had one turnover I didn't like into the middle of the ice. But from I think everything else in this game, I thought he played quite well.
For a guy who's dealing with athletic pubalgia, did I say it right?
Yep.
Thank you.
Good enough.
What did you make of Evander Kane's performance, and then a young Dylan Holloway, and then even the veteran Corey Perry? Because I think the bottom six, we've been keeping an eye on that. Pretty good start, I would assume. How would you break it down?
Yep, really good start. Hey, Evander Kane, for all our talk before the game, he was really good tonight. He was around it, putting pucks to the net. Not like he was just running guys all over the ice, but hey, solid game. Plays 16 minutes, played a lot. Thought he played quite well. So a pretty solid game from Evander Kane and Dylan Holloway. You see the lines flipped. I guess if Kane's healthy enough, which is kind of what we talked about, where he's going to slide into that third line spot. Now, we didn't get into it before the game, but a little interesting that Connor Brown ends up being the one coming out of the lineup and Dylan Holloway stays in. Now, that is based on Holloway's play. He played really, really well, so he got a little bit of a look. And I thought that line was fine. I think they suffered from one of the maybe not forwards to do much on the play for the goal against, but the bottom six, Tommy, as a whole, they were solid tonight. Now they didn't have to be outstanding. Zach Hyman was outstanding. Connor McDavid was outstanding. Leon Draisaitl at times was outstanding. Adam Henrique had a really solid game. Like, those were still your stars. Those are the ones that still shined. But Holloway and McLeod, that third line with Perry and Kane, they did exactly what they needed to do, Tom, which was, I guess
grind.
They ended up, most of them minus, or that fourth line anyways, ended up dash a couple, but that third line in particular, they didn't give up anything. They generated a bunch of chances and they were pretty steady and solid. It had some physicality to the game, which I liked. And, Tommy just kind of kept the ship moving, which is what you needed from them.
I like that. Was that a ship or an?
That was it. The ship. SHIP.
Okay. Yeah. You don't like to curse.
San Diego. The old
Santiago. All right, let's go into some text. The Oilers win at 7-4, taking game one against the Los Angeles Kings. Game two goes Wednesday night as these two teams lock horns yet again. It's become a yearly tradition in the Western Conference and the Pacific Division. All right, here we go. Let's go to the text line, 780-218-9999, and then nasty chat. You guys are having fun over there. I see. I'm enjoying that. I'm peeking over. Shanzi says, as per Dustin Nielsen, no more wave. That is all. Shanzi with that one. Cass, what are we doing with this wave stuff? Come on. I thought we talked about this many times here.
Yeah, but there's always one. And I think now it's almost turned into a spite wave where people are doing it just to be the one to do it, to stick it to us. Yeah. I'm not superstitious or a little stitious, so I don't think it really actually truly matters, but it is just kind of annoying. It's like, I don't even when I'm just watching, like, just having that in my vision going around and then having people stand up, and I'm like, no, I don't want you to stand up like that in front of me. Stop it. Sit down. Sit down. Like, you're not providing any more encouragement for your team by doing the wave. Yeah. You're just being annoying. So, I mean, I know. Wave's a wave. I'm not a big fan of it either.
Pick the right moment. Buzz in Nebraska says, nighty night, Tommy G and the crew. It's too late for me. And then I think Buzz in Nebraska has the show on his TV in his bedroom because he sent a photo. Good night, Buzz. Hope you sleep tight in Nebraska. This one comes in and says, hey, boys, big win. Love beating Pierre-Luc Dubois. Easily my least favorite player in the show. Dubois looked like he was trying to play rat in this game, Cass.
Yeah.
Is that going to be sustainable?
Potentially. I mean, he could try. I mean, the problem with him playing rat tonight was that he took a couple of penalties, and those penalties absolutely crushed him. So maybe it's sustainable, but he has to find a way to do it on LA's side. If we're talking about things LA needs to do better, he needs to find a way to do it without taking penalties, because you take those penalty minutes, you're gonna get burnt. I mean, Edmonton, if Edmonton can run their power play like they ran it today, and if they're feeling as confident as they were feeling today, you can't take those penalties. You can't take those penalties. What did you think about the hit on Vinny Desharnais?
The Trevor Moore one?
Yeah.
Dirty. That's Trevor Moore. I talked him up big time before the game on the pregame show. I like him. I think he's better than that. I know he's probably trying to get things going for his team on a night where things are not going their way, but you can't submarine. You can't submarine a guy. That's not honor. That's a stupid play. And you know what? It cost him. Simple as that.
It did. Yeah, you took a penalty. I mean, I was interested at first. I kind of had the thought, I'm like, I wonder if they send that and look at it for supplemental discipline, but I don't think they're going to. Maybe a fine. Possibly. They might look at that and get like the $2,000 fine or whatever.
Yeah, right. They'll slap on the wrist.
Yeah, I didn't like that one. But
he's a much better hockey player than that, Cass. I'll say that. He's more effective when he's playing hard, not stupid.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But what it did remind me of is something that I noticed a few times throughout the game, and I'm curious to know your thoughts on this. Do you think the Kings are targeting Vinny Desharnais to try to goad him into taking bad penalties and retaliatory penalties? Because there's a few times they went after him today. Yeah,
but he's not a guy that has really shown that he's going to take retaliatory penalties. Like, has that really been something we've watched him and been like, Vinny's really got to control his temper? Like,
no,
he's pretty calm out there. Like, he'll rise to the occasion if he has to. And yes, he seems to get fired up, but he hasn't really been like, I can't think of a single time he got goaded into a penalty once, like where someone just sucked him into doing something stupid. Now it's potentially that they kind of looked at him and from a matchup standpoint said, hey, if we can be really physical on this guy, if we can make his life really difficult, if we can bang him up at all, like we can hit him. If you can hit him every time and every chance you get, well, you might slow him down a little bit, and that could lead to an advantage for us playing against him in the offensive zone. I would think that's more likely than trying to go with the goading, because it is over a long series. You're like, okay, and we would do this in our series, and I think PK Subban, he's very different than Vinny Desharnais in terms of type of player. But with PK Subban, when I go back to that series when I was with Ottawa against Montreal, the game plan was hit him every time you can, because he loves to jump up ice. He loves to, be involved in the play, and his, skill set was one of being a good skater. And so for us, it was like, well, over a 7-game series, if you can bang him up over that 7-game series, and if you can have it so he's not, he's got a little bit of a Charlie horse and both legs, and his back is a little sore because you just kept hitting him. Well, it's going to make him less effective. And I really think with Vinny Desharnais, that's probably the tact that they talked about, was like, hey, if we can, he's not, yes, he's improved on his speed. He's not the most fleet of foot guy. If we can be really physical on him, we might slow him down a little bit more, and that might help us. But yeah, Vinny just hasn't shown the, being sucked into bad penalties. So I just don't see that being.
Yeah, and I asked because I saw it a couple of times where there were some scrums in front of the Oilers net, and they seemed to give that shot to Desharnais. Maybe he would retaliate. And I was like, well, that's, he noted on my stat sheet, and I'm like, okay, there's one that went after Desharnais. Oh, okay, they did it again. And then Moore does that dumb cheap shot on him, and I'm like, is this strategy? Did they say pick on Desharnais? But you're right. For the most part, he keeps his composure in check, and the temper doesn't flare all that much unless it really needs to. Displaced Yukon wants to know, do they consider starting Big Save Dave or Red Light Rittich in Game 2? What would you say, Cass, after Talbot's performance tonight?
That's a good question, Tom. I mean, did Talbot do enough to earn?
Did he make a
else's
big
start?
save tonight, Cass? Where you're like, damn, that was a great save.
No, he didn't.
I didn't.
So you might have to, but man, not great options necessarily to go to.
Fair.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if they go away from him, Tommy. I don't know if you can. At the same time, he didn't do, as you said. I don't think he did enough to warrant a lot of. I don't want to say warrant a lot of confidence, but he didn't play great.
Yeah. Simply put, did not have himself a great night. Talbot, if you're wondering, he faced a lot of rubber tonight. The Oilers did pepper the LA net with 45. Talbot ends up with 38 saves on 44 shots faced. Of course, Warren Fogle with the empty net goal. Keep those texts coming in, 780-218-9999. Cass, I will just ask you this before we get into some locker room clips from the Oilers, because I'm sure you're tired and want to get to work tomorrow and get some rest as well. If you're the Oilers and you're planning ahead for Game 2, they're going to have about a 15, 20-minute hard skate tomorrow at noon. What do you think the messaging is, and what do you think the plan of attack? Because I feel like it's simple to go more of what you did tonight, but it's not exactly easy to execute because you know the Kings are coming at you hard in Game 2.
Well, it's not easy to execute, but you're still going to say it. You're still going to say it. You're going to try to figure out what adjustments they're going to make. You're going to look at what they were trying to do in the PK and say, okay, they might shift this up here a little bit, but really that's going to be it. I mean, what's the messaging, Tom? Is go up 2-0 on these bleak. If you hit your button, go up 2-0 on these. Yeah, a whole bunch of them, and then we're going to take the series when we go to LA. Like that's the messaging. That's the messaging. Is we won one, we had a great game, slate's clean for game number 2. We got to go out and approach this the same way. We know they're going to push. Yeah, absolutely. We expect a battle. Go out and do the same thing, and take a 2-game series lead heading into LA and just run with it. I mean, that's what the messaging is.
Hey, Game 1, really nice win for the Oilers, 7-4. A really nice job as always, Cass, on the post-game show. We'll catch up with you on Wednesday, my friend.
Thanks, buddy. And I plan on being on location, so we'll save one of those GCs for me. Maybe
I've got lots of GCs for you.
Give me one of the 20s. Give me one of the 20s.
Yes, I'll save you multiple 20s, Cass. Only the good stuff for my buddy
Thanks,
Cass.
buddy. I appreciate it.
All right, good stuff as always. Matt Kassian, our game analyst, helping us break down the Oilers 7-4 victory in Game 1 over the Los Angeles Kings. Game 2 goes Wednesday night as these two teams continue their rivalry in the postseason. Another 8 o'clock start on Wednesday. All right, keep those texts coming in, 780-218-9999. Let's get to a couple of texts. Caper Dan says, TG, I am begging you, spread the word to stop with the wave foolishness. Help us, Tommy Juan Gazzola. You're our only hope. Caper Dan, I am more than happy to say, stop with the damn wave. Pick your spots better, everybody. Ryan from Sass says, Oilers had a really strong start. Skinner was terrific, as was 97. Oh, boy, strong game from Kane as well. PK, excellent. Power play, unreal. Interesting stat. High danger chances favored the Kings, 13-6 at 5-on-5 the last 2 periods. Love the Kings' white jersey look, by the way. Great to get a win in Game 1. That's from Ryan from Sask. And if you're going, what are you talking about, Ryan from Sask, with the Kings white jersey? They were wearing their alternate jersey with the old 90s Kings logo, not the current logo that they use on a full-time basis. So, yeah, they went with their third jerseys or their alternate uniform, and they didn't wear the silver buckets. No chrome helmets. They went with the white helmets, and didn't help. Didn't help in Game 1. All right, let's go inside the Oilers locker room. Where to first, YouTube, Trev?
Yeah, he had a hell of a season. He had a hell of a game tonight with 3 goals and 1 assist. Let's go to number 18, Zach Hyman.
Very nice, but I mean, lots of work to do, obviously, so still got to play as hungry as we do when we lose. So,
how does that potentially help you guys? You know, you obviously want to get this done faster than you don't want to get ahead of yourselves, but getting it done faster than could really help you guys go on a long run.
One game at a time. I think it helps you in the sense that now you only got to win 3 instead of 4, right? You're not behind the gun, so it's good. We got to defend home ice. We got another game on home ice, so it's important to take care of business here.
What's the most satisfying part of your game as a team tonight?
I think the start of the third. Like I think they have their push in the second. I think grabbing hold of it in the third and scoring a big power play goal, Leo's goal. I think that's just a huge goal to kind of settle the group down and kind of be the dagger, I think.
If the battle becomes playing the most minutes of your style as opposed to the other team getting to play it their way, you guys had most of that game. The game was played on your terms most of the night. Is that in itself accomplishment, I guess, something you're trying to do?
I think you want to exert your style. Like, I think you want to be able to have the game in the flow that you want it in, right? I think if it's the other way, you're frustrated and you're not happy, obviously. If they're imposing their will on you, it's not a great feeling. I thought special teams was great. Like, I thought the PK was solid. I thought Stu was solid. I've never seen so many bad bounces for a goalie in that game. So I think just a solid game.
You looked like you were a little banged up going off there. I know it's playoffs. You might not say much, but you were back on the ice after.
Yeah.
All good?
Oh, yeah, it was completely fine. I just hit I don't care because it's nothing. It was just hit your funny bone with a slash, and then your arm goes numb for a minute, and then you sit on the bench. Okay, it's back. So it's kind of like when you get hit in the foot with the puck, it goes numb. Same type of deal. No, nothing.
Is that the most amount of hats you've seen for a hat trick?
It's 12 bags.
14.
1,131 hats.
Oh, man. Good for the Oilers store. That's crazy. I've never seen so many hats. No, but pretty special to do it here in front of the fans.
Can you go through those hats and try to see what kind of hats you maybe would like?
No, they usually bring them down, but I think playoffs is no need. We're just going to move on and take the win.
Safe to say it's the biggest hat trick of your career?
Yeah, I mean, in the playoffs, every goal you score gets you closer to the ultimate goal. So
you had a career year, and the playoffs, everybody says a new season. How important was it for you just to get off to a good start in the playoffs, just kind of carry your momentum over?
You want to feel good going into the playoffs. Obviously, you want to feel good, but I think it's just at this time of year, everybody is so focused on winning. It doesn't matter who scores, obviously. That's been a big part of my game this year, so it's important that I'm able to produce, but I think regardless of who scores, we're all pulling on the same rope, and it was just a huge effort from the entire group tonight. So it was a good win. Yeah, 95 away from 100. No, special player, obviously. When he's playing like that, he controls the game. So he doesn't need to score. He just setting up everybody and set me up 3 times, and he's been doing it all year. So it's just that's what he does.
What have you liked about Henrique since he's joined? It's been a few games. Fits in right.
Just so solid, like just steady. Like as a line mate, you want to play with somebody who's predictable and you know where they're going to be. And we haven't played with Rico for long, so to have that kind of predictability and understand where he's going to be at all times, like I think that's huge, and I think that's a huge compliment. Like it may sound boring, but it's a huge compliment. And obviously, I think his puck touches are great. Like I think he makes really good touches with the puck, and I thought he had a great shot. Like he picked the corner. It's a hard angle and just a huge goal. So I thought he played great. Plays special teams, takes draws. Like just a huge addition for us.
Zach, you mentioned Draisaitl's goal, but then what about Henrique's goal and your second goal to allow you guys to continue kind of imposing your style and your will on them?
I mean, those are all huge goals, right? Like I think scoring the first goal is big, and then you get out to 2-goal lead early in the first, like that gets the crowd into it. And then we're up 4-0, right? And then they get 2, they get 1 disallowed, so they're at 2 goals there, and then going into the third, like 2-goal lead's not always the safest lead. So I think it's to get that, to capitalize on the power play. I thought our power play scored at opportune times in the game, and that's what we talk about a lot. Is it's not how many times you score, it's when you score. And I mean, obviously we scored a lot on the power play today, but I thought the moments in the game were huge and just kind of settling the group, giving us a lead. So, yeah, I thought it was good.
All right, there's Zach Hyman, 3 goals, an assist, and 9 shots with 5 hits tonight, 18:30. Time on ice, big night for the Oilers' 50-goal man as he made the Kings pay multiple times in the 7-4 Oilers win in Game 1. All right, YouTube, Trev, back inside the locker room. Who is next, my friend?
Yeah, we've got Evan Bouchard all ready for you. Here he is.
Really solid performance. What do you think of the team's effort from start to finish?
I thought it was a great overall performance. We got on them early like we wanted to do, got up on them. They pushed, but we battled back, and, it worked out in our favor.
This is kind of what you expected from yourselves. Everybody kind of believed going in that this is who you are and this is what you could be. Was it still nice to see it in a Game 1 at home?
Yeah, whenever you can get up in a series, it's always a good feeling, especially the way we did it. There's obviously areas to clean up, and we'll get to that tomorrow.
They pushed back, and then you guys in the third period pushed back on them, and that was also a very good sign for you guys.
Yeah, that was huge. Like I said, there's going to be swings in the playoffs for each team. It's more about managing it, and limiting it. And when we bounced back, it ended up in our favor.
You looked at your power play very good against the second best penalty kill. What did you like about your power play that led to the success?
We're moving the puck. That shot Leo had is kind of perfect shot. But no, we were moving the puck, getting them moving. I think, like I said earlier, there's work to be done, and you always improve, and we're looking to do that.
The two power play units worked. I think it was days are kind of going in together. It was yesterday, I think, both ends of the ice, despite all the success that you've had out. Kind of a little refresher help, or it looks like at least a help.
Yeah, it definitely helped. Come playoff time, special teams is a huge part of the game. We won that battle tonight, and like I said, there's always room to improve, and we're going to do that tomorrow.
If you were an opposing player against Zach Hyman, what would be the hardest thing to stop from number 18?
There's many things. He protects the puck like no one else can, gets in spots where no one else wants to get to, and he gets rewarded for it. So it's credit to him and his line mates for finding him.
Was that the most amount of hats you saw on the ice after a hat trick?
Yes, definitely up there. Yeah, I can't remember last time I've seen more.
Game 1s have not gone particularly well for this team over the last few years. What allowed you guys to really impose your will pretty quickly?
I think it was getting on them early. We knew we had to get a lead on them, play with the lead. Now that we have that under our belt, we know what it feels like. We got to do that again next game.
Does that really change the course of gameplay against a team like this? Getting it, not only a 1-goal lead, but you guys made it 2 pretty quickly there.
Yeah, that's huge. If you can get up on a team like LA, they don't give up many chances. So when you can put them in the net and get up on them, it kind of plays in our hands.
They seem to want to get engaged in scrums lots, but you guys were more than willing to do it. How important is the kind of the game within the game factor, and maybe how much more comfortable your group feels in those situations?
Yeah, the discipline's huge. I said earlier, special teams are a big part of the game. If we can take punch or whatever it is to get on the power play, we're going to do that, and I think that's going to be big for us.
All right, there was Evan Bouchard, 4 assists on the night for Bouchard, +1, 3 shots, 1 hit, 21-51 time on ice. Let's go to the next portion of the post-game show, brought to you by GCL Diesel. We go on to the big save of the game, presented by Christopher Boyle, business owner, tax saver. Chris Boyle strategically works with both businesses and families with strategic planning and risk management, like a goalie, protecting the net, shielding your paycheck from unforeseen events like illness or hospitalization, and ensuring your family's financial stability in the face of unexpected circumstances. Check them out, ChristopherBoyle.net. All right, Trev, without further ado, what is the big save of the game presented by Christopher Boyle?
Awesome. Thank you for that, Tommy. It's going to Stuart Skinner tonight. And was this the nicest save? I don't think so. Was it the biggest save? Absolutely. It was a very, very clutch save, and it happened in the second period. 5 minutes in, Arvidsson on the breakaway, clutch save. And this save ultimately in the same, like in the next minute, well, in the same shift, Zach Hyman, what does he do? He goes and gets his second, right? So it was a great save. Not only did he nullify this from being a 1-goal game, the Oilers capitalized on this. Zach Hyman, he got his second, and they got the 2-goal lead. So this was awesome. It was a great save. It was a very clutch save, is how I would say this. And I'm thinking there's going to be a few more of these clutch saves because Stuart Skinner looked a lot more calm and composed in net tonight, compared to how he was last season. So it was great. It was phenomenal. Stuart Skinner, you got the big save of the game tonight. Good job.
Nicely done, YouTube, Trev. All right, we're going to go back inside the Oilers locker room one last time. Where are we going to hear from?
He chipped in with a goal tonight. We're going to hear from Adam Henrique. Here he is.
Came out, play with some desperation early on, try to impose our will on them in that first period. So I thought we did a good job there, and I think that's just something that we need to be able to carry over for 60 minutes.
Do you feel like this is kind of one of the reasons they got you? You have playoff experience, Stanley Cup finalists, play wing, center, that just so many of the characteristics that a team needs if they're going to have a long playoff.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while, but certainly nice to be back in the playoffs. And since coming here, really, a lot of people have talked about the atmosphere, and I think until you experience that playoff atmosphere here, it's hard to explain and understand what it's really like. So that was exciting to be a part of, and the fans were great tonight, and certainly a lot of fun playing out there.
Adam, when you assess your own game right now, what's allowing you to find so much success alongside McDavid and Hyman right now?
I mean, just confidence. I mean, those guys. They make it easy, and I think when you're just working, I think for me the bottom line is just go out and work and go play hockey and not really worry about the end result. And playing with those guys certainly makes it easy out there, and just try to fill in all over the ice and support those guys and make plays.
Assist for Connor tonight. Just a thought, and just keeps surprising people.
Yeah, I mean a great first game, and I don't think we look past that at all. There's areas to clean up as a team, I think, and we move on to game 2.
Take us through that goal of yours. It looked like it was one of the most confident shots you've taken as an Oiler so far.
Yeah, it felt good. Again, just trying to attack. Simple. Got I don't know how the play really evolved. We kept it at the blue line and was able to find some ice downhill and just be a confident shooter. Really, as simple as that.
Adam, you said an NHL record for longest stretch of games between goals for you. Past Craig Ludwig. It's been a while. How good did it feel to finally score one? I know you've only played 4 games, but it's more the length of games played.
I mean, it is great. And like I said, a lot of people have talked about the atmosphere here, and personally, you can feel the buzz running into people outside of the rink, and you can feel the connection from the fans to the team and the players and what it means to a lot of people. So to be out there and experience that firsthand was pretty special.
All right, there was Adam Henrique. He scored a nice goal in that first period. You want to hear stat line for Henrique tonight? I got it for you. The veteran with a goal and an assist, +1, 2 penalty minutes, 2 shots, 2 hits, 13:52 time on ice, chipped in 66.7. On the dot, Mike from Calgary says 1 6 o'clocker logger down, 15 to go. I like that. Glenn in YYC also sent in a picture with 16 6 o'clocker loggers with a nice cup top to them and one scratched out. So well done. Very well done. This one from Ontario Mom says, boys, they should send all 1,131 hats to Andrew Berkshire. They need to take a pound of flesh off more for that season-ended attempt. Big win. Oilers smothered them. Yeah, we don't have to worry about Berkshire and his god-awful take. Zach Hyman continues to shut him up regardless of what his parents have in their bank account. Ridiculous take. No need to rehash it. See you. Do you guys think the lines stay the same for the next game? I would think so. And another text says, fun to see the Oilers wake up. You could tell the regular season games were boring them. Playoffs are primetime entertainment. Let's go. Son of Van, boys. Honest Hansel says, Tommy, let's smash those thumbs up tonight. Everyone needs to know about EST. Yes, tell your friends. It's been very, very good and very nice to see. We're climbing towards 8,000 subscribers on YouTube. The audio stream, whether it's on iHeartRadio or on TuneIn or just on our EdmontonSportsTalk.com radio feed there, it's continuing to be really good numbers-wise, and people are clearly catching on, and let's keep the party going because we've got a good thing, and we hope as many people can enjoy it, and certainly we've been enjoying it. By the way, 6 o'clock or lager, $12.99, Sobeys and Safeway liquor stores until June 30th. And yes, I'm having one right now here at Hudson's Bourbon Street as they wind things down. All right, YouTube Trev, a little bit of business to get to as we need to get to the Damon Bunting RE/MAX Elite Player of the Game. Damon Bunting, consistent top-producing realtor in Greater Edmonton and among Western Canadian RE/MAX realtors. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. YouTube Trev, who is the Damon Bunting RE/MAX Elite Player of the Game?
This was an awesome night, Tommy, and playoff hockey is back, and so is playoff Connor McDavid. It's unbelievable just getting to watch him. It is like an absolute treat. Even if you're not an Oilers fan, just an observer of the sport, it doesn't get old. And like it honestly, It was just, it's so unbelievable what he does. And this is top end talent. He's up against the best players every single game. And he makes it look so easy. So it's super impressive. It's going to go to Connor McDavid tonight with 5 assists. And who knows, he could have had a goal tonight. He could have had 2 goals tonight. Like, honestly, he got 5 points, which is incredible, but he could have had more, which is just unbelievable. But obviously, huge shout out to his line mates tonight, who I think, they held their own as well. Adam Henrique with a goal and an assist. Zach Hyman, 4-point night. It's incredible. But, I mean, it's as Tom Gazzola said, Connor McDavid was brilliant tonight. And so brilliant he was. He gets the player of the game. And I get used to this because I honestly, he could be having... He's probably going to have a few more player of the games down the road there, Tom. So great night for the Oilers and great night for McDavid as well.
Oh, nicely done, YouTube Trev. All right, let's go to a few more texts here. Get those in, 780-218-9999. Oh, people are enjoying game 1 here at Hudson's on Bourbon Street. Of course, the Oil Street Postgame Show brought to you by GCL Diesel, proud suppliers of genuine OE products from manufacturers like Bosch, Denso, Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset. Love it. Let's go to RJ. Says it's tough to see Skinner's stats take a hit at the end there. He played solid. RJ, yeah, I know his averages aren't particularly great, especially after last year's postseason, but a couple of bad bounces there. As long as they're getting wins, I think that's the most important thing. Let's go to this one from Nook. Says, boys, good win. All that was missing was a live shot of Will Ferrell glaring at his TV. What's your guys' opinion of Kane tonight? He was outshone by everyone else, obviously, but he seemed kind of slow and not overly aggressive. Could be just me, though. Power play looked amazing. Nook, I really liked Evander Kane. I thought he showed a lot of gusto and jump. I was actually pleasantly surprised with him. And for a guy dealing with a sports hernia or a athletic pubalgia, I believe that's the term. Cass had it. He had the exact same thing when he was playing for Minnesota. Looked like Kane was making it happen as much as he could. I thought it was kind of encouraging to watch him tonight. This one from Taxman says, Tommy, Kings got lucky. 3 bounces for goals, still lost by 3. Oil played a solid game. 2 things. Devo needs to teach Hyman a new breakaway move, and I wish someone would have tuned up more. Other than that, what a game from Taxman, pardon me. Dirty Curdy said, McLeod soft tonight. Thoughts? I actually liked McLeod. He kind of threw one hit. They gave him credit for one, but are we surprised? Are we surprised, Dirty Curdy? He's not a physical player. Grumpy Cat says, Tommy, nice suit. Cass, I like that sweater. Well job, boys. Northside Sandwich says, the best thing out of this game is the Oilers planted that seed of doubt in the minds of the Kings. Thanks, Northside Sandwich. I like that text. Brent K says, the Oilers scored 10 goals tonight. Sucks 3 were on themselves, but good reminder that discipline matters and playoff goals are dirty. Is overconfidence a concern? Brent K, I think Cass was talking about that a little bit when he said if it was a blowout, he would feel like maybe they'd be able to flush it, the Kings would. And I don't know. If the Oilers play like they did in the first half hour of the game, I think they're going to be just fine. Let's go to GJ on D. Says, Hyman is worth his weight in gold. Leon's goal should be in an art gallery. What did you guys think of the hit on Vinny? Go Oil from GJ on D. Bad hit on Vinny. Not honorable at all. Man, so many texts. You guys on fire. I love it tonight. The good vibes all around. Nasty chat. What are you guys doing? Nurse has to have better reflexes than that. Can't even skate, and I could have avoided the puck. Go Oilers. That's from Dean Asplund, 123. Casino Dealer J says, it's nice to see our top players just take over the game rather than hoping for surprise players or X factors. Hopefully this will happen a lot during this run. And then Gord says, Kane looks solid, had at least 5 good scoring chances. And Brandon says, got to watch that pubalgia area. Yes, be careful with it, indeed. All right, YouTube, Trev, let's close things out. What do you got for us as we get set to say goodnight?
Yeah, just final thoughts. It was awesome. The Oilers fans showed up. There was never any question in that. And the Oilers showed up. Like I was genuinely surprised. I had some friends and family asking me if I thought the Oilers were going to win, and I didn't. I didn't think that the Oilers. They always
really.
I honest to God didn't. They make it interesting. They always, they had the active. Now they don't. But going into tonight, they had the active. Losing streak in home openers dating back to what was it, 2017, 2018. So. I was genuinely surprised.
Series openers.
Yeah, series openers. That's what I'm referring to.
I got you.
Thank you for that. Yeah, so I was surprised by this, Tommy. I'm not gonna lie, but like not only did they show up, like they brought their game to the LA Kings, and I was in pretty traumatic fashion. I was very impressed by all of them from lines 1 till 4, and we talk about line, the fourth line. It didn't really provide much, but it didn't hinder them by any means, right? Like they were going up against PLD, Pierre-Luc Dubois, and Quentin Byfield. Like that's a tough task. So I thought they held their own. And it's just being consistent, right? You got one win in the bag. They're already over it, right? It's just move on to the next one, and it's going to be another good one. But lots of high score, lots of goals. I love that, and it was awesome, Tommy. This was just a great night in general. So let's go to the nasties that have been watching. It's awesome. Thanks for chiming in and all the texts that we've been getting. It was great, and we will see you on Wednesday.
Nicely done, Trev. 8:00 start again. Oilers and Kings game 2. The Oil on the ice tomorrow at noon. Sounds like a 15 to 20 minute practice. Everybody has to be on the ice, so I'll be down there. We'll get a rink report going as well. Edmonton looking to make it a 2-0 series lead on Wednesday. We'll be live on location right here at Hudson's West Edmonton Mall. Come join us. Plenty of GCs, so many GCs to give away. These are 10s. I've got some 20s. And, it's good times down here at Hudson's. For YouTube, Trav, and Matty Kassian, I'm Tom Gazzola saying thank you, as always, for tuning in to the Oil Stream pre- and post-game show presented by GCL Diesel. We will see you tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone. Get some rest.